T-minus Chris's story. You dick. Oh, sure, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
That's what I was laughing at, but
That's
I didn't
funny.
do it. That was Matt.
Funny.
Well, I don't know why I came. Oh, shit.
That was the intro. That was one of your best yet.
It is.
I think that I'm
It's
going to
funny,
say right now.
The days
that
I
was-
don't
that
mute
was
it
the best.
are the days that it comes back on the little YouTube feed and I have to hear myself. I'm like, shit.
Oh, we got to go again.
Yeah,
okay.
Gotta go again.
From
All
the
right.
top.
Well, I don't know why I came here tonight. I got the feeling that Jack just ain't right. Chris is scared he might fall out his chair. And Mouser's hazmat on the stairs. Clowns to the left of me, jokers to the right. Here I am, stuck on a podcast with you. Yes, I'm stuck on a podcast with you. Well, it started out with nothing, and we're proud we're on the Ramblecast. And our fans, they all come running, slap us on the back and say, please, please.
That's
Best one
really
yet.
good.
Oh,
That was
thanks.
really good.
I got to say, that
Best
may
one.
be your best one yet. I'm glad you went back and did it because I had to mute
That's
myself
good.
because I was laughing. I didn't want to.
Oh,
That was really good, Nick.
yeah,
And,
thank you.
and sadly, I forgot that we talked about this, and
We
and
did.
I wanted to do Reservoir Dogs as the logo,
Oh, nice.
but
I know. I fully expected you to remember it and like you be like Mr. White or something instead of being Captain Sully. And I was like, ah,
now it makes even more sense with Mr. Pink. But
Yeah.
when
I gotta give Reservoir Dogs another try. I've only watched it once. and I didn't like it.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Matt and I were talking about that last week as well. Like, I've seen every Quentin Tarantino film, but Reservoir Dogs was one of the last ones I ever saw because I was so young when it came out that Dad would not let me watch it because he saw it. He's like, it's so violent, so bloody. You're not ready for it, you know. And I was like, okay. And then I saw Pulp Fiction like a year later.
Well, yeah, dude. I mean, Michael Madsen was like the first guy in a movie I was scared of.
Mm.
I'm like, he was terrifying.
Yeah, when he killed Free Willy, fucking pissed me off.
It
Man.
just the whole ear scene just
Doo-doo.
fucking talks with you. So what's going on, gentlemen? What's new in your worlds?
I got a headache.
Yeah.
Can't get rid of it. It's like 3 weeks, but it's
Could be a
well,
tumor.
one of those COVID headaches. I hear those are
Ah.
going around.
it maybe I don't know, like 3 weeks.
Well-
I keep going. It's a tumor, and my wife never. plays
Not a
along.
tumor.
You have
Yeah,
to get that
she's-
joke.
I-
Yeah.
She goes, I refuse to say it. I go.
Oh, come on.
I only ask for so. I ask for so little in life. So little.
So little. Just get my movie references. That's all I ask of anybody.
Exactly. Well, she gets it. She just won't. She goes, I'm not saying it.
She
It's
doesn't care.
It's stupid.
She doesn't want to give you the satisfaction
Exactly.
of giving you the joke.
Because there was a guy, was Amari Toomer, he used to play for the Giants. Every time if we were watching a game, he was on there. I'd go, "It's not a tumor." I would say it every, and she would just look at me and go, "Do you have to say that every time?" I go, "Yes."
Of course.
I go, because once it's in my head, it's going to be
It's
in my
there.
head forever.
Mhm.
Sorry. Anyway, that's my life.
Nice.
And Pan Am has been canceled, so I'm pissed. So
Yeah, ever since the Pan Am cancellation, it's been driving.
Pan Am-ademic.
So,
You know, it's funny is because, like, you know, people forget that's basically where Margot Robbie got her break was on Pan Am. You know, the girl.
I always forget she was in it because
Mm-hmm.
it was always the blonde.
I never knew Pan Am was a show.
Yeah, it debuted at Comic-Con 2011, I think.
it came on right after Lost. It was that special time slot where every show could make it go. So
It was actually on Sunday nights, if I remember correctly.
it
It wasn't bad, and they were trying to. It was supposed to be like
they were
based on Pan Am, obviously.
Right.
And the flight attendants were
Well,
stewardesses.
it was neat because, you know, it was in the 60s, and, you
They
know,
were-
you
they
had
trying to
different-
rock that Mad Men vibe. You know?
Yeah, that's
Like,
kind of, yeah, it had the Mad Men vibe, but it also had different elements because you had like the fish out of water was the Margot Robbie character who was like, I'm just trying to get out of my little town, and you had her story, but then you had one of the other actresses. She kind of had that '60s spy vibe because she actually got caught up in some like things, and like it had different, different storylines going.
It was her, right?
That's the French girl. No, it's the one over your head.
The one over your head, right above your head.
That's there. That's the one. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't remember why
it got canceled, but when it started getting interesting.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, because it was typical the first couple episodes, and then it got interesting. You're like, oh, I kept watching it, but whatever.
You could smoke on the plane. You could do whatever you wanted on the plane. It was good times. But now we have.
I was talking about this the other day with my daughter. We're talking about planes. She's never been on a plane, by the way. So she's been asking about it because we have friends in California. We might go visit and all this stuff once kind of everything kind of settles down. And I was talking with my wife about it. I was like, when I was a kid, I remember people smoking on the plane.
Yeah,
like legit smoking on the plane, and it's just. It's amazing how all of a sudden that's just like the most. It just disappeared. Like the idea of somebody smoking on a plane right now is like you'd call a fucking air marshal.
A lot of
they
that
still have to tell them not to.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff was silly because Jack. Oh, a lot of that stuff was silly because I wasn't the smoking section in the front of the plane, so it just drifted. I was in the back. Okay, well, just all that air recycled anyway. So you're getting it. It's all smoking in non-smoking sections in a restaurant. You're like, what? Like.
I've been on planes.
Stop right there. Take your little divider. Like
I know a few years ago, I was flying on planes that still had the ashtray.
Yeah, most of them do.
A lot of them still have it. Yeah.
You sit there and go, "All right, how old is this fucking plane?"
Yeah. Well, even the signage, no smoking. Or like we get it. Like, who is there a time traveler that's showing up that doesn't know the?
Well, they make an announcement too. If you smoke on this plane, you will be thrown off.
Like mid-flight. Like, don't fucking do it.
Remember DB Cooper? That's you.
I was reading a story the other day about a woman farted so bad on the plane that she, just not thinking, lit a match on the plane to get rid of the smell. But of course, you can't light a fucking fire on a plane. It's like you idiot.
Yeah, one time
America.
I shit my pants so bad on an airplane, I decided to pull out a gun to cover up the smell. And
it was a cap gun. It was
worked like a charm.
It did distract people, right?
It shot aroma bullets.
At first, I thought you were serious. I'm like, I don't know if there's a story I'd be telling.
I will share this one airplane story though. Sorry, Nick. To
go ahead.
I know your airplane story was much better, but this is awful. At least for whoever was sitting next to me. So I flew a lot when I was a kid because my mom lived in Washington State. My dad lived in Indiana. And so back and forth, summers, Easters, Christmas, you name it. I would bounce back and forth. Well, at that point, my dad had moved to Indiana.
Last in flight.
I was born and raised in Ohio, but then everything else after my life took place outside of that state. Anyway, so as I'm flying back and forth all the time, I kind of get used to it. But this one time, and I never got sick on planes, never. Like I'm just, except for this one time. And I'm sleeping. I'm not even awake. And I wake up and immediately throw up. So you got to imagine the person sitting next to me is this like all of a sudden like this kid who's just fast asleep just wakes up and immediately barfs.
Yaks.
Just like and there was no time to even grab a bag. Like I just had to go to the bathroom and clean up by myself and
What about the person? Did you hit them?
No, I didn't throw up on them, thank goodness, but they had to definitely witness that.
Because throw up smells pretty bad.
Yeah, it does. And then it was, of course, on me the rest of the flight. So it's just, you could only clean yourself up so much.
Oh, you had peanuts, I can see.
It was probably United, actually. And I always would drink a ginger ale. Like that was always kind of like the drink that I would.
That's what I'm drinking right now.
That looks like air.
Yeah, look, yeah, I don't see it.
I'm on
That's
a green
kinda cool.
screen.
Green, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm drinking right now.
Very, very cool with the green screen. If you put it right up to the ladies there, it
You didn't
looks
go
like
with
you're-
Schweppes?
No, because this was the closest to the aisle, so I just grabbed it.
All right. I mean,
My granddaughter likes her. She calls it. I call it juice. So I put a little ginger ale in it, and all the water with some ice cubes, and she likes. I need my juice.
the Illyrio Dry's got nothing on Schweppes. You know that, right?
She definitely does not look like she's Canada Dry. Just saying.
The one that's
I'm gonna get in trouble here, aren't I?
Yeah, they're going to shut us down and take away our Amazon affiliate.
It's cold,
because
it's
of this.
cold in that flight, apparently.
the one that's on the right center is actually French Canadian. So
Yes, she is. That's why she had a French Canadian accent.
that's right.
And this is why am I drawing a blank on her name? Adam's Family.
Oh no, not that one. Yeah, but you're right.
Her.
The other one, but yeah.
No, Richie. Not Richie.
Yeah, Christina Ricci.
Christina Ricci, yeah.
Christina Ricci, yes. Come fly with me. Come
So speaking of
fly away.
of bodily fluids and substances, I was working on was it Saturday? It was towards the end of my shift, and I was outside. Speaking of some of the staff and some of my customers, and out of the blue, I just felt this like something hit me in the shoulder.
Something hit me.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
and I saw one of the employees I was talking to like looked down on the ground like, oh, that's nasty. Looked at the ground and I go, what? She's like, a bird just shit on the ground. And I was like,
It's good luck, Chris.
Yeah.
dude, yeah, says every fucking person who doesn't have bird shit on them.
Right.
I'm sitting there and he's like, look, the bird shit on the ground. And I go, oh shit. And I look.
You got a better chance of being struck by
This
lightning. than
motherfucking
shit on.
bird must have been dumpster diving over at Chipotle moments prior because it was a goddamn travesty of what was going on my shoulder, my chest, and the corner of my face mask.
Wear your mask.
Let's just say,
Like
I'm
that?
glad I wore my mask. And furthermore, I disrobed immediately in front of my customers, in front of my store, and that shirt went straight to the trash.
Were you on a Zoom call?
No, it was outside. It was live in person. Yeah. So it was hilarious though. I mean, only I can find the humor of getting shit on by a bird, but
I think he's patient zero, Matt. What do you think? Guy,
so.
COVID started with the bat. This started
Yeah,
with the big
yeah.
bird shit, like on this guy from Boston.
Skyvid-19.
Did
Yeah,
the
Sky-
bird die? Did the bird die after it shit? Was
I
such
hope
a-
it did.
was
I hope it
something-
fucking. I don't know. But dude, this wasn't just like your little bird poop. It was fucking Armageddon on my shirt. It was disgusting. Like I almost threw up because of just like looking down, being like, oh fuck me, and then. And I had I was like turned away from my employees, so I was looking at what they were talking about. And then I swiveled back, and I'm just like, "What happened?" And everyone's just like, "Oh,
He's in shock.
oh no!" Yeah. It was-
Nobody pushed you out of the way like the Secret
No.
Service would
So,
do.
needless to say, my day got cut about 15-20 minutes short, and I went home. Yeah.
Randy has a follow-up question. Were you tucking in your shirt?
Yeah, very nice.
Were you laying down on a bed?
Were
So
you being
I-
interviewed?
I'll tell you, I started watching it and I fell asleep. And it's probably because I was just super tired. Like, I'm super tired. I have been exhausted for the last 5 days, but I didn't finish it.
bird
So
shit's on
did
you.
you guys finish watching?
I
Borat.
just watched the
I
clip.
haven't.
I haven't seen.
I just watched the clip, and I'm like going.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, I'll tell you, I did
What
watch it.
bird?
I fell asleep halfway through. And my daughter got dropped off by her friends while I was passed out cold on the couch watching Borat. And I
Is your hand
can't
starting to
confirm how long she had sat there and looked at that screen while Borat was on there. But I'm hoping it was on the shorter side. She's like, "What are you watching, Dad?" I just a movie. Like, ignore about this. Nothing here.
It's all fiction.
I'll tell you, there's one scene that I recall before falling asleep, and if you guys do watch it, holy shit, I almost threw up. Even though
Making
it's
a good
fake.
sell here.
Does Borat get shit on by a bird?
Nah, but Borat's daughter dances a very provocative dance during a very special time of the month.
Oh.
Is it really his daughter?
No.
It's
I mean, it's his daughter in the movie, but the actress is not hers. Sacha Baron Cohen's daughter.
I didn't think he had a daughter old enough.
But it was fucking gross.
Speaking of like
sometimes you got to dance.
Oh yeah, she did.
Footloose.
Your story about bird pooping reminded me of another thing I was reading, and I don't remember if it was at a Target or a Walmart or something. It was something like that though, where it was like the title of the article was "Police Called After Man Threatens Bomb."
Oh
and
yeah.
Did you read that one? Okay.
Yeah.
And so basically, it's like the guy was in the department store and makes the comment while going to the bathroom, "I'm about to drop a bomb," and a woman hears him. Gets to security, they call the cops, and then the security guard, like after the guy comes out, they're like, "Sir, do you have a bomb?" And he's like, "What?" You know, he's like, "No, I just dropped a bomb." And like so they had to educate this person.
Could
on
you
the
imagine
slang.
the look on the security guard's face when he realized the origin story of said bomb?
Well,
Exactly.
what I saw it on was on YouTube. A newswoman is reading the story. And I guess the guy knew this. Her co-anchor knew the story, so he's laughing as she's reading it. So she dropped a bomb, and then she's realizing what's going on, and then so she starts laughing. It just,
That's it. Yeah.
it happened.
Well,
You got to be more specific by saying, "I'm dropping a deuce bomb." So then they're like, "Wait, shit, there's two."
I have never heard of Deuce Bomb before, but it makes sense.
Mr. Deucebum.
So, speaking of laughing,
That's like an Austin Powers character.
and kind of related to talking about movies and such. I started and completed within a span of 2 days a new series.
Das Boot.
Nope.
Deucebum.
So, yeah,
Paw Patrol.
I started
Paw
watching
Patrol. Yeah.
Ted Lasso on Apple
Oh,
TV.
Ted Lasso.
That's on my list. Yeah.
It's fucking phenomenal. Like, it's probably one of my favorite shows of all time.
Give us a premise.
Wow.
What is it?
So here's the premise of Ted Lasso. So Ted Lasso is actually a spoof, like sideline reporter or / commentator back in like an NBC Sports from like 6 years ago. It was a character that was played by Jason Sudeikis, and it was like a spoof that they actually ran on air for like an actual.
Olivia Wilde's husband.
Yes. So it had since 6 years later has been developed into a sitcom drama-ish show, but the premise is it's kind of like the Major League of England, right?
Oh.
So you have like this disgruntled owner of a soccer team or a football team that wants to get back at her former husband who had cheated on her with younger women, and she inherited and now owns the soccer team. She's trying to bury it. So she hires an American football coach who's never stepped foot on a soccer pitch and never coached a player before, or never coached a game of soccer before, and invites him to come over and pays him a contract to be the coach of the Richmond Football Club.
It's easy to coach soccer. You just keep it in the middle of the field, play for the tie.
Right.
So there's
around the ground.
a number of different stories about some of the key players and some key personalities on the team, and like his adjustment period to moving to England and being, embraced and or hated by the locals in town for being a wanker from the United States. The show is so good, though. Like, the characters are awesome. Jason Sudeikis plays this character that you just can't help but fucking love. Like, he is such a great character, and he's like this eternal optimist. And he looks at everything with a glass half full, And some of the there you go. It's a series of promo skits to promote NBC's acquisition of the Premier League. That's correct. That was about 6 years ago.
Okay.
I couldn't. You can't find a character you fall in love with more than his character of Coach Lasso. But the acting is so funny. The writing is so good. Some of the I would laugh out loud at least a half a dozen times every episode. They're quick episodes, half-hour episodes, but the show is that great. So I don't want to give away anything else because
That's on Apple TV.
It's on Apple TV. Yep, and you can watch its full season 1 is now streaming. Highly, highly recommend. It is a feel-good show that is not appropriate for kids.
I got so many shows I'm watching and haven't completed yet.
Yeah.
What shows are you watching? What are you in the middle of?
I have The Right Stuff. I have I have watched first 2.5 episodes, and then I have what's that cop show where she's she's kind of nuts.
Doctor Who?
No, Matella.
I mean, I haven't seen the new Doctor since she turned into a female, so I don't know.
So, but anyway, I just got I'm Schitt's Creek. I'm watching. I mean, there's so many shows I'm watching.
It was all like in sarcasm. Go ahead.
I got it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure the listeners.
But now I do want to watch because I've heard good things about Ted Lasso. So do I stop what I'm watching now and watch that?
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's probably the most underrated show that you can stream right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's that fucking good.
I'm almost done with the Brady Bunch rewatch.
Okay. I'm always like, wait, there's all this new shit, and okay. I'm gonna give you a pass here on this because at night, as my wind down, I'm just gonna put on some fluff TV for myself.
TV.
I've been watching.
Got a fluffer TV.
I've been watching Thundercats.
Nice.
The original or
the original. Now the remake I really enjoyed.
What the fuck is a Samaflange?
But
Is it good though? Because I remember watching it, in the late '80s and liking it. But it's like I said, I don't go back and watch G.I. Joe. I don't go back and watch a lot of things because I'm so scared it's gonna be crappy.
It's not. It's not good. It's not like, oh wow, this is the lore of
Matt,
the
Matt, you shut your mouth when you're talking to me. Don't talk ill of the Thundercats.
Hey.
I've never seen an episode.
If I were to get a tattoo, it probably wouldn't be a Thundercat symbol, but it would be up there though.
Would it be a tramp stamp Thunder?
Yes, totally. It would totally be. Actually, I'll just give it to
Brock
Mausers.
Lesnar tattoo. You know the dagger that Brock Lesnar has in his chest? You have to do that with the Eye of Omens. So it's sort of
right.
Mm-hmm, yep.
pretty fucking lame, but awesome at the same time.
I don't know why. It's just that show that I'm like, okay, maybe the Brady Bunch doesn't hold up to. I'm sorry, maybe the Thundercats doesn't.
To be fair, I'm watching the Brady Bunch with a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. So
yeah,
to be fair.
They just like the theme song, right?
What I really wanted to rewatch the Thundercats for is, do you remember when they met the other Thundercats, with
multiverse?
It was like the tail section, the tailies. No, really, it was like there was a 3 others that escaped.
I have no recollection of what the plot is of Thundercats.
It had Bengali and Lynx and this other, anyway. So, the plot is basically they're mutant cats.
Yeah.
The whole show is just mutant animals. And did you know that the producers of Thundercats is Rankin and Bass? It's a Rankin and Bass.
No.
Yeah.
Really?
I just floored Jack with this information here.
I didn't know who they are.
You got him. Yeah, it's the same as like Mask. I loved Mask when I was a kid too, but I have no idea what that show is about because it was basically just a toy promotion.
Yeah, totally.
Nick, watch your mouth.
But I wasn't going to knock it. I just say I have no idea what it's about.
That's 2 things Chris has seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you're about to shit on both
No.
Thundercats and
I
Mask,
did not shit on either.
Mask of the movie, right? You were talking about the movie Mask?
No, not the movie Mask with Cher. No, I'm talking about the toys. It was basically like a.
I was always talking about what's that one with
What are we looking at?
the guy who was supposed to be
Rankin Bass.
Oh, is that right? Oh, okay.
Yeah. All of these things are.
Rudolph?
okay.
The most
I'm telling you, their
shows
names.
and histories.
Their names are at the end of the Thundercats. They are the production producers.
Thundercats. Oh! I haven't practiced.
So he did all the Christmas ones, huh? Okay. All right.
Well,
Why is my face so bright?
I know you got some lighting issues.
I know. I got to wear shades though.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh man.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Earth below us. Anyway.
Nice. Those are like literally two of my favorite cartoons growing up. Was
I did.
Thundercats.
What Jim Carrey was? What was Jim
That was
Carrey?
a different mask, but
That's
the
a
mask.
different mask. We're talking about
How many different fucking mask shows
I
are
had
there?
the 57 Chevy that had the Gatling guns that popped out of the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the gas station was it's called Thunder Mountain. Remember what it's called?
They had the boulder that came down.
Boulder Mountain is what it's called.
Yeah.
Boulder would
So
actually.
it's like a puppet. It's like a puppeteer type movie, like a animated.
Nope.
I'll bring
it
up
all,
I'll bring up images for Jack since he's
Jack,
too busy not watching
Yeah, Joe.
his kids.
So I had the bike, the purple bike with the sides car.
Yeah.
That was like I had that launched out. It was the Wonder Water. I had the
the helicopter. The fucking
was
helicopter.
the, you're right. You're right. It was a, yeah, I had the helicopter. That's
That's
green. That was
Airwolf,
the green
right?
one, the helicopter /bike.
Yeah.
And then there was the
bike.
yeah. It was a bike like a crotch rocket green.
So you had to
And
keep pedaling.
yeah.
That was-
you get to see them.
They
And
tried
then-
that. They tried that in Ohio to be the first ones up in the air.
Yeah, see there.
Yeah.
That's the mask. No, not that mask. But yeah, up at the top. That's what we're talking about. I still
Oh,
got
yeah.
at least 3 or 4 of them somewhere around the
Okay.
house. Yeah.
What
So
about
I had-
Oh my god! Can somebody please get me a fucking mask, face mask?
I think that just has Rugrats on it. Sorry,
I know, but that just inspired me. I want the mask logo on a face mask.
Sure you
or
can get it.
or what about like just the mask? Like you
Nope.
could actually.
I want the logo.
Just this logo right here
Yes, on
on
a face mask.
mask. Okay, a mask. So
That's a mask.
Oh, meta.
mask.
the mask, baby.
But that's another thing, like
Mask,
Jack. I don't recall what the premise of that show was either. And they're like, it's kind of like Transformers, but not like were they spies or what? I don't. remember
They're
what it was.
just fighting this like
That
evil
guy.
warlord guy.
Man,
I don't know.
I had
He's
that
a
one too. I had the
dictator with orange hair.
the
What
Trans
about,
Am.
what about
or
Speed Racer?
IROC,
Not the
whatever it
movie.
The
Go
J- the Jack-
Didn't have the jackhammer. Didn't have that one. I had that one, the red bike. Yep, I had that one. I had the green one there on the right.
Okay, I
Had that
probably would, if I was a kid back then, I probably
had
would have
that.
watched this.
This
You
was a
probably-
cool
you
one.
would have
would've
totally.
watched.
Man, that show was so good.
I mean, I was into Johnny
Oh,
Quest.
there's the 57 Chevy. Yeah,
There it is. Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool.
Where's the Gatling guns?
It's on the roof. It pops
Oh,
out.
there it is. There it is.
Oh
Yeah.
crap! Sorry, I clicked on something else. I didn't want to click
Matt,
on
you're
that.
supposed to
So-
like
Matt, stay off the
remove your
porn.
tabs before you start sharing your shit.
Rookie mistake.
Especially when it includes the
Oh,
word.
that's right. the
This is
It's crazy.
that would be that'd be a great car in traffic.
I never saw the 57 Chevy. That's cool.
These were always designed by people that lived in LA.
I had that one.
Like,
That
How
one was fun.
the hell do I get around?
That one was my favorite because that was like it turned into a plane. That one.
I liked this one because it had
Firefly.
the Native American, so represent. So anyway, there is our little mask.
Wow.
Yeah, that was cool. Thank you for that little road down memory lane.
You know what? I want to go back in time now, and because what was that? The 80s, 90s,
like 89 probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris,
I was already married and had kids, so
Chris Dorian in the chat says my go-to after-school cartoon was Star Blazers.
Huh.
yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, okay,
Don't-
Chris.
oh yeah. Yeah.
Star Blazers, yeah,
Yeah,
sure, we get it, Chris.
Yeah, we get it, Chris.
you
We
got
get
you
it.
got.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's something to do with the name Chris. Yeah, so.
So my morning before I went to school was always like Ninja Turtles and Tailspin, I think.
You know what they all had in common though? Commercial breaks. Man, aren't they fucking annoying?
Yeah, they are.
But we gotta have them. So anyway,
My go-to is Rocky and Bullwinkle during the day, and
I liked Rocky and Bullwinkle, but I was always frustrated as a kid because I wanted to see the next episode that finished the storyline. It was just like previously on Rocky and Bullwinkle. You're like, wait, what? What the hell did
I remember
miss?
watching like
Tennessee Tuxedo.
the Dick Tracy cartoon that made a huge comeback in the 80s, 90s.
90s because of the movie.
Because of the movie. I used to love watching that. It was awesome.
And I know I've talked about this before, but Underdog, what gave him his strength, some magic pill.
Underdog is here.
We've talked a little bit about this before, but like that's something I really pity like with kids these days. I mean, even though you have Cartoon Network, all the old cartoons. Like I remember that Saturday morning in between like the new cartoons, you'd have those old like Disney and like all the the Roadrunners, all the things that were 20 and 30 years old. Like you still watched them. That's how you had those memories.
Yeah.
It's like I loved watching the old ones too. And like you don't have kids. You don't have kids watching the old
be right back
stuff.
You don't know.
And that's what. And I pity the parents because that's what kept kids sleep. The parents got to sleep in because the kids could turn on Saturday morning cartoons and the parents would go, "Oh, thank God I can sleep."
Like yeah.
I remember was it the WWF wrestler cartoon?
Mm-hmm.
So good.
After my time.
Good.
Yeah, I wasn't really big into
You know that cartoon was fake.
No.
Forever. Shut your mouth, Jack.
Shut your mouth and you talk to me.
I remember when wrestling like became a thing, like in school and what have you, and I was just like,
there's two. Well, technically, I guess three glory days of wrestling. You have the late 70s, which is like Andre the Giant and like the old original stuff. Then you have the late 80s, which is like the emergence of Hulk Hogan and Hulk Hogan was the early 80s too, but like the late 80s was like with all the WrestleMania.
Well, didn't Rocky
3? Yeah, they did, but then like the 97 period that and Mondays and Wednesdays,
Austin, The Rock.
But even then, like even you had them both. You had the WWE and the WWF at the same time. Like both those are really competitive.
No, it's WCW and WWF.
You're right. WCW.
What about the WTF? That was my favorite one.
That was some good matches.
Yeah, it was it Nitro versus Raw, right? So that was like the big rivalry. And
right.
That was Gladiators. Nitro wasn't Nitro.
Nitro was the American
Nitro was the night. That's what they called it. Yeah, like your
so that was the WCW and the WWF, and there's probably tons of people listening who are like
yelling at us,
yelling at us right now because there's a cult following of this shit.
I loved the WCW at the time, but because they brought back all the old characters because like Hulk came back, Sting came back, and even Ric Flair, like all the '80s people came back, and so you had the New World Order versus like you had the storyline. It was basically just a soap opera with a bunch of old guys hitting each other. Yeah, but that was the number one. You look back in 1997, what is the number one in ratings? And it's wrestling. It's crazy, and then it all went downhill. But that's where you get like the Undertaker, and you get like all these famous people from that period.
We used to have roller derby, and the only LA team I ever rooted for was the LA Thunderbirds.
Nice.
They would always come back and win at the end, and until someone finally told me it's fake, I go, what?
The old slingshot.
Yeah, why ruin it for me? You had to have this. You had to have the different color helmet, right, to score points. Yeah, is that what it was? Yeah.
Oh, right. I thought of you last night, Jack. I yelled at my oldest friend in the world because he was watching Monday Night Football, which I don't watch. And he's like, I was like, what are you doing? He's like, watching football. Oh, really? Who's playing? He's like, LA. I'm like, which LA? He's like, the Rams. I'm like, well, you have to be specific because LA has two teams now. He's like, they do? I'm like, yes, they do. I know that everyone. That's the problem. And I started going off about Spanos.
Thank you.
Shit about.
That's the problem. Nobody knows there's two teams in LA.
Yeah.
They barely know there's one team in LA. So anyway, I don't get me started because I can go on forever on that one. But fuck Dean Spanos.
Yeah, and then I started talking about Boston and how like all their teams have gone to shit in the last couple of years. But then we didn't really care about that. So.
Well, I took a chance and I put a tweet out there saying I used to have like 1,000 people I followed that were Patriots fans. What happened to all of them? I think I got down to 5. Yeah. Seriously, because you would be nonstop. We're fucking winning again. It'd be like, oh my God, shut the fuck up. Now the pain is there. The team is gone.
Yeah. No more pink hats with the B on it. You know, it's all the
Belichick is no more.
bandwagon people are gone.
You know, if there were people in the stands, they'd be getting beat up by the older people. Would be
By
getting beat up
Chris,
by younger
yeah.
fans. So
I think we can dispel all the people who are trying to say that Brady wasn't one of the greatest quarterbacks ever to play the game, saying it was just Belichick's team and Belichick's coaching and the way they put the team together. Dude, you got one of the better quarterbacks ever to play the game on the Patriots right now.
Yeah.
well, to be fair, he's been. A lot of people think he's been washed up the last couple of years. So
Well, he's also he's battling COVID.
Yeah.
But my point is this, man, is that like this team is falling apart without Tom.
I mean,
well,
sometimes
they don't have any
probably
talent though either.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's not just the talent too. Like to be a good team, you have to have at least 1 to 2 really good leaders. And I don't know if Tom was a leader for that team, but
Absolutely was.
yeah, I mean, you have to drive people. You have to be that person to get on your ass.
One of the big problems too is that you look at the leadership that are on this team. What's his name? Oh fuck, I forgot his name.
Edelman,
He's like the heart of the team. Oh, Stephen. Shit.
Satan.
Satan?
But he's not a star player, but he's one of the heart. He's the heart and soul of the locker room. I'm so sorry I forgot his name. For Patriots fans out there, but
heart and soul.
like his father,
Lucifer.
Oh, really?
like 2
Yeah,
weeks
isn't
ago.
that special?
He obviously missed the game that happened like the day after, and like he was kind of, and he's missing. You've got Gronk
had-
team, and he's a very soulful character in that squad.
They did have 5 or 6 people that opted out because of COVID.
Yeah, people opt out, and it was top fucking talent that opted out too. So like you're having a team without a leader, and those
way,
who are not, those who are on the higher end of the spectrum as far as talent, and the team said, you know what, I'm not fucking stupid. I'm taking a knee on this season and letting COVID run its course and come back.
I'm gonna give you credit for being one of the few Patriots fans left. I mean, you're making great excuses, but at least you're still a fan. I mean, that I gotta give you credit.
Of course, yesterday it was hard to be a fan, but
it's hard to be a fan. Some guy posted something. A Dodger fan posted something about he's I don't know, he's got like 140. He's verified, but he's like going, people just don't understand how hard it is to be a Dodger fan. I'm like going, it must be fucking tough making playoffs every fucking year. I just want to say, shut the fuck up, but I didn't. And now we got. Anyway, if I was Nick, I'd look up.
Hell, man.
It's okay. I didn't do anything embarrassing.
I'm hanging on every word over here. I'm just looking at something.
Chris Doran said, "Do you think Justin Herbert is the real deal?" He looks good so far, but it's early, and there'll be film on him and stuff like that. But he's got a great arm. He's got a cannon for an arm, that's for sure. I hope he leaves the team and smartens up to realize he won't get a ring there, but because that field they're calling SoFi Field, the turf. They have a name for it because so many players have been injured on that turf. And they're saying, they go, why they didn't put natural grass in there? It's LA, because you have 2 fucking teams there. And a lot of times, like the other day, they played Sunday and then the Rams played Monday. You can't, and there's not enough time for the field to have 2 teams playing on it and being destroyed like that.
Right.
So blame fucking Spanos again if they weren't there. And they're and all these Charger fans, we need to replace the turf because we're losing all our players. Well, then have Spanos pony up for real grass. He's not going to do that. Fuck off. So anyway, it's a great field, but people are dying.
He has the money. Like, why don't they should roll out new sod every game?
Yeah,
it's dropping the well.
It's Arizona, right? That they have it out because it's a dome stadium in Arizona, right?
I'm not sure where the Cardinals. They used to play it at the Sun Devil Stadium.
Yeah, so they bring it comes out and then they bring it back in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, retractable field.
Yeah, couldn't you have had 2 turfs, one for the Chargers?
Jack, I don't think they fucking care.
I don't think they do either. I'm just saying.
It's a joke of an organization, and it's a joke of a league right now. No one's pouring any money into the league at all.
Yeah,
I agree.
But
I did have
like Pan Am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
should have never been canceled.
No.
Hey,
Take off on September 25th.
I made an investment in my personal health and well-being.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
for real.
I'm sorry. Did I say that out loud?
You got like a catheter system back there behind you? What you got
No,
going?
it has not arrived yet. But I did. Fucking camera off me. It's not arrived yet, but I invested in one of those connected workout bicycles. It's like
the
spinning.
Pelotron or
I did not get the Peloton
Peloton? Yeah.
because it just Peloton nice. The Peloton seemed a little too
Exercise.
healthy, you know. I need to be just a little bit off of what everyone else is doing. So I didn't want the whole Peloton thing, but I ended up getting a Nordic Track bike, which is kind of similar setup. So it's got like its own like subscription based, classes and stuff. But am I missing a chat?
No, I mean, yeah.
Yes.
Same, like, yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited for it. I've been thinking about it for a long time. So I actually almost bought this bike back in February of this year, pre-COVID. And my wife was like, you are going to do this or we're going to get the kids a swing set. And I was like, oh, fuck. Put it that way. I got
I guess you didn't have a choice.
But
so you'd have passed on the other swing.
My budget kind of reset for the back half of the year, and I had a little bit of some money allocated to spend on some shit. And
I would thought a rower would be the rowing machine be better.
That's what I was about to say. Is that when I finally get a home that I'm going to buy, I found same thing. Nordic Track. I found one that a really good rowing machine. I sat down in a store and did. I was like, I like this one. It was good tension. Yeah. I actually felt like I was getting a workout. I was like, because like like a lot of us, the men get the fat on there on the belly, and I think that's where I need to focus on. Oh, okay, yeah, sure. Huh? Mm-hmm.
I'm working on it.
Middle-aged man. 10 years.
That was at what's his name? Austin Powers. Mike Myers did Middle-Aged Man on Saturday Night Live.
I don't remember that character. No,
he was middle-aged man. He was all but he had a gut. He goes, "I'm working on it." He's like a superhero, middle-aged man.
I've been really kind of interested in this whole cycling thing. I've had friends of mine who've gotten the Pelotons. People love it. I've never met someone who's bought one of these and not liked it, right? And they all like their own specific brand or whichever that they prefer. But I've been eyeing this for a long time, and there's I work in an outdoor shopping center, and there's a company called Soul Cycle. I don't know if that's a chain that's down where you guys are, but Soul Cycle is like a spin class, set up where they have like a gym full of all these bikes. And obviously they can't do that right now. They can't be inside of a gym doing these bikes. It's just very dangerous to do that. So they adapted, and they took over like half of the parking garage, like on the second floor. So they have all their bikes set up outside, and they do their classes, and you can fucking hear them throughout the day going crazy up there.
So you can bring your bike there?
No, my bike will stay at the house.
Oh, okay.
But
it doesn't work.
I'm excited. I plan on putting it like actually right here. So
I'm just curious where you have the money. I mean, you just bought windows.
Yeah.
I financed those windows at 7 years.
Oh, okay.
He's got time.
I manage funds in different areas.
He's a mover and a shaker, man. People at home that are listening, they're like keeping track of everything we've done. Like, okay, so Matt took out a huge wad of cash earlier in the year
with a bike.
On a bike.
Was it an exercise? Was it a stationary bike? Now was it?
No, it was just a normal.
You should do that. You should go up to the drive-thru on a stationary bike next time.
Yeah, that would be good.
Just piss everyone off behind you.
Put it on the back end of a trailer. So I don't think Chris was there for that episode.
Yeah, this is all weird news to me. I'm just
so that's old news. Yeah, we don't need to rehash that. So
anyways, I'm excited. Yeah, it should be fun, and I pledge to you that it will never have laundry on it. That's
I was thinking. Yeah, sure.
You can do an episode on the bike.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. I could. I'm not going to.
Why? show the.
I don't want to see
listeners
that. Like him in some little short gym
You want to
shorts.
see my bike shorts?
Yeah,
Jack?
exactly. Some could fall out.
I was
You
looking.
can wear Warm Taffy's bike shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah, once you get older, you start hitting that it was a long time ago for you, but once you get like 40, like it's
Yeah, I know.
the things are not they lose their
Gravity. I know. I get
gravity happens. The elasticity begins.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that because I wanted to talk about a serious subject. I wanted to.
Balls get bigger and hang lower. That's just how it goes.
Sometimes you sit on them.
Dude,
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
There's a nut 11
you don't.
close callers from back 10 years ago. That is can't bring this up. This is terrible. I'm gonna bring it up anyways. So we were sitting by the fire up on the roof of the hotel. What was that hotel that we all went
It
to?
was Hilton or something.
Yeah, whatever the fuck it was. The one had the
Hyatt.
had a sweet pool up on the roof and the fire pit. We're all sitting around, and it was me, Chris, Kolke, Tim, and I forgot who else was a part of it. Anyways, we started talking about like, have you ever sat on your ball? I think it's one of those conversations that happen around a fire and drinks.
Talk about pain.
And we're like, yes, it's
From
the
what I've heard.
worst. And I think Tim coined the phrase "nut 11." You'll never forget.
Tim who?
Yeah, nut 11 is not a good thing when you sit on one.
Nut 11.
Oh,
Yeah,
never
because you can't hide it, and it's your own doing too.
It's actually, I'll say, Jack, depending on the severity of the sit, it can actually be way worse than getting kicked in the balls.
It can be, yes.
Like it can be excruciatingly painful.
I've never had it where it was that bad, but
I have,
because I've had a few. I had once I was playing. We were playing co-ed softball, and I was playing the outfield. I ran in, get the ball, and the ball bounces and goes under my glove.
Oh,
And I go, and I just drop. Again, this is co-ed softball, so I can't be Giuliani.
it's not. It's softball, so the ratio of object to object is very high.
Yeah. So, like I said, I couldn't put my hands. I just was laying on the ground going, please, God, kill me. Because it's happened. I'm sure every guy in the chat, and I'm sure all of us have had that happen where you get hit and it's just like, or like
you murdered. Like nothing
Yeah.
you can do about it.
So recently, I was watching some stuff with my kids. We were watching funny animal videos. Pets and dogs and cats. It's a great way to waste
when cats attack.
no, but it's a fun way to kind of like look. There's a lot of shit, with the world and just everything, right? And it's goddamn depressing. So
not 11. Remember.
Yeah. Cat videos, dog video, pet funny shit that animals do. It's just like very therapeutic for the soul. Anyway, I was like, oh well, let's watch America's Funniest Home Videos, and so we just like put on an episode, and they had like the 1 millionth ball hit or whatever, groin hit. Like they had this like whole award and stuff because it was like the 500th episode or something. So they had this award that came out with a cup, and a guy like bent over, and so I just had to like, okay, kids, like, look, this is a thing. This is a thing that made America, America's Funniest Home Videos like what it is, right? I mean, like, if it wasn't for the obligatory like ball hit, where would that show be?
Right.
Like there's a great video that's like trending. Or, I don't know, is trending the right term? I don't know. I'm a boomer apparently when it comes to Reddit, but there's a video that's like it's been upvoted quite a bit on Reddit of this guy and his kid like shooting hoops, like one of those Fisher Price like basketball hoops, like the 2 feet tall hoop, and it's like his father just like swatting him every fucking time. Not even letting him come close.
Mm-hmm. I know which one you're talking about.
A layup, and then the kid's just getting pissed. He's getting frustrated, so he goes up to the basket like this, like a double take it, like whatever. Looks at his dad and just fucking punches him right in the balls, and his dad goes down like Ali Frazier, like just goes down for the count, and the kid just drops a fucking slam dunk into the hoop. He goes to the camera. He's
It's
like,
cute. It's a funny little video. I saw that.
Well,
bastard.
isn't it sad that we all know the pain,
Oh, so bad.
but yet, but when you see someone else, like even if it's someone you know, you can't help but laugh.
Yeah, so like
are we laughing because it's not us? Are we
injury
laughing because
videos
it's
are
fucking-
not strangers to Reddit, by the way. Like they're all over there. So if you get queasy, sometimes you catch one of them. Like I saw this one dude, a guy doing like a backyard wrestling event, right? And he did like a backflip off of the top rope, except his legs.
Oh, I saw that.
landed, but he went.
Yeah, it was like
It was
he said it wasn't Photoshop. I said, oh,
Like I was waiting for the guy to fall down and he like catch his nuts in the turnbuckle or something. I'm like, oh fuck! Like, dude, is he alive? Like that was disgusting.
yeah, it's snap, crackle, and pop. Ooh, it was bad.
I'll never not watch a fucking ball shot. Like they're so good, they're so funny. But yes, Jay, it's weird. It's the most painful thing that we never want to have happen to ourselves, but we get joy in watching it happen to others.
Because I'm not going to offer, to help. It's just like you're just going to. Oh, you're on your own, dude.
Rub some dirt on it, kid.
Yeah. Oh, you kind of feel bad, but anyway, I always feel bad later on for laughing, but at the time, it's like,
Not really.
It's like one of those things. I'd seen this image earlier today, and hopefully it'll pop up here as my background. I saw this earlier today.
What the fuck?
Wait, but olives. Oh,
And it is
Olive
one of those like
Joy.
it is a visual that is like so like ooh, like you can almost taste it, right?
No. Yes.
Coconut and olive. No,
that's make believe, right? That's a joke.
What's that?
That's a joke, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
No, they're not coming out with Olive Joy. That's not a real
Okay.
thing.
To be honest, Almond Joy.
You don't
I
like
draw the
Almond
line.
Joy.
That's it. No,
I like Almond Joys, but Olive Joy is not a thing. and
I don't
should
like
never be a
olives.
thing.
So
As a kid, I always got real confused. I mean, and like the whole olive, Almond Joy's got nuts, mounds don't, like the commercial. Remember that?
Mhm.
Like, but it pissed me off because Almond Joys had fucking mounds on them. Like, it freaked
Right?
I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, right.
But, like you have mounds of olives, or not?
well,
fuck.
it's called mounds.
No, Almond Joy is the one that's got the almonds. Mounds don't.
Mounds
but-
don't. Mounds are just mounds of
Physically,
coconut.
the Almond Joy has mounds on it, and it pissed me off.
Mounds don't. Because sometimes you feel like that.
Sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you
This-
don't.
This humpback whale has got a hump on it. Motherfucker, get the shit out of here. Why is there a
And
hump
Randy in the
on your
chat
back?
says that Almond Joy is better than mounds. Thoughts?
I don't like either.
I don't either. I hate coconut. So
Oh, really?
I don't hate coconut because I don't hate in my life, but except the fucking Dodgers. That's my only other thing.
Nick, to your point, there is no black olive joy. So there's just the, don't know.
I used to like black olives, but now I can't.
I don't like black olives. I like Kalamata olives are my favorite. Love them.
Black olives is the way to go for me.
We talked
Yeah.
about this last week.
they're both good. They're both good. Like like Schlotsky's Deli, which I know you guys probably don't have, but like the original has like black olives on the sandwich, and it's great.
So
So
Kevin, yeah,
you're
Kevin
talking
Q in
about
the chat.
Chung.
Yeah.
Oh no, not Pat Chung. That he's right. That's a reference to the Patriots conversation. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull it up.
I knew that. So I'm not even a fan, but I knew that.
So if you join us live,
Slater. Sorry, Matthew Slater.
Matthew Slater, that's who
Yep.
you're talking about.
Oh, from Saved by the Bell.
Nope, that's AC Slater.
That's AC Slater. Yeah.
Fuck AC Slater because he lives in San Diego,
Mm-hmm.
and who does he root for? Fucking Dodgers. Fucking asshole.
He wanted a winning team.
Fuck that. No, he's
Why
still
would
a
you
Charger.
change? Why would you chain yourself to that train wreck?
He's still a Charger fan,
Well,
and that's what people are more pissed at him that he still supports the Chargers.
shot in
If I
LA.
If I ever see him, I'll throw him a bag of Doritos. Do you feel bad?
Speaking of Doritos, I still have not found a salsa Rio Dorito. I'm so pissed. I literally every time I go to the store, I go down the aisle with the chip.
Well, they quit making it. Yeah.
But the thing is, I was always they come out with every once in a while like a special edition.
Oh, they do. Oh, okay.
Fucking
Yeah.
Dodgers took
And
it
It's
out.
like
and I thought of you, Nick,
Yeah.
just yesterday when I went shopping, and I got salsa verde Tostitos because they're
Yeah.
fucking very serviceable.
they're very good.
They're
Yeah.
not a salsa.
They're not Salsario, but yeah, like with Fritos.
This is your exercise bike.
That's the
Yeah,
exercise bike, yeah.
totes. Yeah, I take off with it, man.
Yeah, it's like with Fritos. You have originals, you have the scoops, and then you have like chili and cheese, and then you have the barbecue honey twists. For like the south part of the country,
Just give me the fucking original.
for years you had barbecue Fritos, and they quit making them 4 years ago for some reason. But you could still get them in Canada, barbecue Fritos. And so I order them every now and then from Canada. I get like a big box of 4 bags, and they're huge.
Wait, we have barbecue Fritos here.
They quit making them, dude. No, like you have the barbecue Fritos honey twists in the United States.
That's what it is. The honey barbecue.
You have the honey barbecue twist, but just straight barbecue Fritos they do not make. They haven't made them in 4 years.
Just give me the original Fritos and some bean dip, and that's all you need.
Hey, oh, sure. You know the scoops. They do have a different.
Yeah, they're different. Yeah.
They definitely do.
You
I
have
think
to.
I think to her Sherry's point, I think it's because they're bigger, so they cook them longer, so that's why they're harder.
But the scoop, you can take the scoop and you can put it in your mouth, and you like it's so fucking salty. Like,
Yeah.
But you can like suck on the chip for a bit because it's got
And the scoop, because it's so hard in the way that it's shaped, sometimes if you bite into it, you're like, what the hell have I done to my mouth?
yeah. You have like
You know?
3 inches of chip.
Yeah, like sometimes the scoop is very misleading. You know, I like the tortilla strips. You know,
Oh yeah.
like
Mhm.
because they're dippable. They're you can get just the right amount without having like.
You dip it once or twice.
He's not a double dipper.
You don't double
If I'm with my
If it's your
family,
if it's your dip, you can double dip.
yeah.
And for any of the New Englanders listening, we have the Green Mountain Gringo tortilla strips, which are fantastic. They are as what you're describing, but they're a local brand. So good.
Now, have you ever, speaking of dipping, have you ever flipped to dip? You know, like you dip.
Wintergreen
something-
Skull.
What's up?
What? Oh, wrong dip.
Like you have your chip, you dip it, you eat that part, but then you still have a little bit left over, so you flip it around to the part that hasn't been in your mouth.
That's still double
It's
dipping.
just double dipping. Yeah,
That's still double dipping.
because you've
I
touched
don't
it.
know. Like it's like
No, that
If it's
No,
your
it's-
dip, and you're only eating it, fine. But
yeah,
if
do
you're-
whatever you want. But
Solo
if
dip
if it's
experience is acceptable.
If it's a
Because you make
shared
your own
dip,
fucking rules. But if that's a dip
Shit.
that's going to be consumed by others,
Yeah.
No.
oh,
you
man.
dip it in and
Can't
then
do
you
that.
take a bite.
there's no guarantee your finger didn't the way you're scooping.
Exactly.
You're going in. You're going in.
We're living in a COVID
No,
world.
okay,
man.
so look, okay, now I've switched it to a banana and then a pencil. Is that a banana on the tailpipe?
Yeah, with hip hop.
So you scoop with
it's
one
all
end.
the risk there, man.
Take a bite. Sherry, don't
Yeah.
post any of these
Where,
photos.
and
And you take the other end,
which
which
blow
which
you up right
had
now
its-
with that banana going in your mouth.
and then you fuck this. I can't even do this.
You have such delicate touch, man.
I
So
like how
you-
your fingers are wrapped around that
you
banana.
Yeah, and then you dip it again.
I mean, you
Yeah,
got the right-
good wrist action. Yeah.
All the
you got
risk.
the right touch on
Oh.
that banana.
Man, you are. Hey, you know,
Not too hard, not too soft.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Well, he is getting older.
it's got some weird spots on it.
This one's got the dark tip.
Oh,
So-
wow. It does. It really does.
Yeah,
It's really
That's more than.
yeah. This is like Mitch McConnell's hand,
Yeah,
like
that was freaky. Like, what's up with that?
bro.
no
he-
shit, like
messed up.
like the witch's coven or like whatever spell. Like, is there a Fight Club that happens in the Senate that we don't know about? Like,
Oh, dude,
you
I would,
don't talk about Fight Club. Like,
He's
Oh, dude,
Palpatine.
can you
He's got the
fucking
lightning
imagine?
hands, you know. Or,
could you imagine being able to be in a fight club in the Senate? I would sign up immediately.
yeah.
I would want to beat the shit out of at least 47 of them.
I think it should be allowed. It's like, you know, the fight is not broken out in either houses since like 70 something. It's like it
Yeah.
needs to happen. You know?
Yeah.
The problem is most of them are like 80.
Yeah,
years old. So it's like
Yeah.
it's
But
my
I mean, that's the thing. Is like, I think
that'd be perfect for Chris.
It's my
but-
wheelhouse.
I forget if it was Thaddeus Stevens beats him out with a cane.
Replace
Like,
like
just-
the filibusters with like cage match.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to go in there and just beat the shit out of what's his name, Gates from Florida. Like he has just a fucking punchable face.
You know, if you auctioned it off, you could probably pay off the national debt.
Ah,
yeah, for
God.
real. Yeah.
Think about all the people that donated just because they hate Trump. It's like they don't even like Biden. They're just like, I fucking hate that guy. So here's my money. Like
Like I really want to beat the shit out of Matt Gates. Is it Matt Gates?
What did
I
happen?
don't even know the guy. Like, okay.
What happened to
fucking
campaign
shitty.
finance reform? Did that just go out the window? Are we done with that?
oh my
yeah,
God.
they always mention it. You know,
Yeah.
it's like
I
you know,
haven't heard it mentioned in like the last 12
I'm
years.
telling you, after this election, they should really have an election reform, but we're not going to see heads or tails of that anytime
Yeah.
soon.
Anyway,
But across the board, election reform, just like here's the term limits. This is how we're handling like all elections. Like
Yeah, I really, I mean, if there's anything I'm for, like when it comes to like government sponsorship, that's what it should be. It's like I'm tired of like people having to generate their own money. You know, it's like just like make it to where it's like, hey, you've made this percentage of the population that's supporting you, so you're guaranteed this amount of money, and that's it. Like you're allowed so many hours per TV, you're allowed so many hours of newspaper coverage, and everyone's equal, and that's it. You know, so if you want to,
but they go around it with the what are those
super
called?
PACs.
Super PAC. I mean, it's just like
yeah,
there's so
Super
many.
PAC. She's super PACing.
There's just so many ways until we go. You know, fuck it. We're no money. We don't want to see your ads. We don't see this. It's just
Oh.
shut the fuck
well,
up.
it's so bad because like every time I have the news on for like our locals, we have a really important Senate race right now in Colorado. It's like you'll see one for one candidate, and neither one of them ever talk about what they're for. It's just like this candidate was seen doing this. Oh yeah, well this guy when he was in office, blah 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 blah. It's like I don't even know who to fucking believe. Like all you're telling me is that both of you guys are assholes. That's all you're telling me. You know? Anyway, not to be a Debbie Downer, people.
yeah.
This gets in from my 3 people from Wake County High School. Well, Wake County High School tested positive for COVID. They just fucking opened it up.
yeah.
Yeah.
Fun news story. I just saw this pop up in my feed. Has nothing to do with what the fuck we're talking about, but it's important here. Jon Stewart just signed a TV deal with Apple TV. He's gonna be getting his own show.
Old Johnny
Wonder what
Stewart.
that'll be.
He's the reason we lost the Charlie Brown cartoons for specials and stuff.
What?
What?
Charlie Brown, all the holiday special, the Charlie Brown Peanuts are now on. You have to go on Apple TV to watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Why is that?
because they said fuck you for watching it for free.
Oh,
You have to pay us.
that's
to
what
watch it.
everything is.
Oh, there you go.
Well, I mean, I've owned them for I don't know how long now.
Hey,
so
look,
it's like,
hey, elitist.
I
That's
need to
great.
watch Garfield.
No, I'm
Halloween,
just like,
actually.
oh, the Garfield Halloween.
That's my favorite.
I have not seen that in a long time.
I love that one.
I might have to buy that just to force my kids to watch it.
Yeah.
So,
I have to go use the bathroom.
Kitty cat.
oh yeah, drop a deuce or a bomb.
I'm gonna
No,
grab a
don't you mean
juice
a
bomb.
deuce bomb? Yeah.
Juice bomb.
Dutzbom.
All right, I will be right back.
Yeah, like it's so like because Charlie Brown gets the credit for so many things.
Charlie Brown gets shit on. What are you talking about?
No, I mean, but like when you think about all this, because it's always the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown,
Mhm.
it's always the Christmas Charlie Brown. It's all the Charlie Brown gets everything because they've been around for so long. But like the Garfield Halloween is by far like one of the best ones. I love that thing. It's so good. People forget about it. It's like my favorite Charlie Brown is actually Bon Voyage Charlie Brown, and most people have never even seen it.
Oh yeah, Bon Voyage when like he actually leaves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've seen it.
Literally, it's in the title.
I have seen it. It's been a long time since I've seen Bon Voyage. I think they actually showed it recently, like at our local, movie theater here. So, because isn't it a movie?
It is a movie. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like
That's
a
what I thought.
foreign exchange student type thing, and so they all go over to
He learns
France.
Japanese.
no, they go over to France, and
Are you still learning Japanese?
Konnichiwa.
you said that last week.
I know.
I can
still-
say that because it's every movie I've ever seen. It's a big deal.
Hi. Thank you.
I do. I don't know if you guys ever watch Bonanza, but I do a great Hop Sing impression, but I can't do that anymore because people wouldn't like it.
I thought you actually.
Even though it's spot on to him because it was pretty racist at the time.
He knew. That means dog.
I can't do it. So it's like a
Nagi?
Mr. Monaco.
Neko?
I did have a serious question. You want to finish, Nick? What you were going to say?
Well, I was saying I actually thought of you yesterday because I was flipping through the channels and there was a Hogan's Heroes marathon on, and I was like, "Oh my God, where's Jack when you need him?"
He was busy watching a commercial, which is what we're gonna do. Commercial break, and then we'll get back to Jack's story.
It's not a story; it's a question.
Oh, a question. Yeah. So like a versus.
No,
Question?
but Hogan's Hero. It's Chris hasn't seen Hogan's Hero, right? Have any of you seen Hogan's Heroes?
Oh yeah, I grew up on
I've seen
Hogan's
episodes of it, but
Yeah.
I don't have it
Heroes.
memorized.
I grew up on it. It was like the other MASH.
Yeah,
I was like,
that's
oh,
kind of what it was. Yeah, like
The opening song is great.
if you don't like the Korean War, well, guess what, buddy? The World War II antics are off the hook.
Wacky times of World War II. Anyway, I was thinking the other day because I'm getting up there in age, so and you start thinking, okay, what's going to happen? Is there an afterlife? Is there not an afterlife? Is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Because I'm sure, Matt, you think the same thing because you're on the downside of life right now. You've gone and now your roller coaster is going down like me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now you start thinking about, okay, when I die, what happens? Now I said, okay, if I die and there is a heaven, say I was thinking it'd be pretty cool, Matt, if we both died on the same day.
Oh, okay.
like John Adams and Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah. I could be on the elevator and I said going up and you go, no.
Take it. It's full.
Sorry, Matt. I'm sorry you're going down. No, but seriously. So you get up there.
I thought you were just saying that I would be like, nah, I've spent enough time with you. I'll take the next one.
No,
I'm going to wait in purgatory lost here.
I'm waiting for the hot elevator. So I was thinking, okay,
Like sulfur in here.
So I'm married. You're married. Nick, you're not married, so you're a free agent. You can do whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
But what are the rules? Like, it's till death do you part. Okay, now I've died. Now I could be, my wife could outlive me by 30 or 40 years. So I'm up in heaven. I'm just kicking back with family members. Some I like, some I don't like. So what are the rules? So like, say I run into Marilyn Monroe and she wants to sing happy birthday to me.
It's called heaven for a reason, Jack.
Okay. So I can, and plus which form do I take? I don't have to take this one, do I? Can I take a younger version of me?
You can take the hair version of you. You answering your own question there, Jack, that you said till death do us part. You have died, so you have parted.
So there's no guilt.
There's no guilt. Yeah.
So
no guilt.
The hall pass is open, Jack.
Yeah.
So she could remarry and all that stuff. So I could, if I'm up there.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want, Jack.
Yep.
Exactly.
Randy in the chat
I'd have to get Thomas Jefferson offer. I don't know.
says maybe Jack will run into Abigail Adams.
You like to get around like a record.
No, I was just curious one day because I'm sure you think about death a lot too, Matt. Because you're up there.
No, although I was listening to this other podcast that I listened to, it's more paranormal, and it had this really fascinating discussion about like the center of our galaxy, basically, the Milky Way, and how there's this giant black hole there, but then how it relates to this like gateway to the other side of souls, and it was just really fascinating, like the connections, and it just started making me think about that, and like all of kind of like the different traditions within other cultures about purgatory or the afterlife, or like what gets you to the other side, because Buddhists will actually go into like a deep trance if they lose.
That's for John. That's not for you. That's John, the UPS guy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were flipping off. John and the UPS guy says Padres still can't win the World Series in heaven. So,
but what if it's the multiverse? Where like in a flip universe, the Padres have won every year except for the years they went to the World Series in our timeline.
Oh, okay, yeah, I could live with that. There's a great episode of MASH where a guy, he doesn't know, only one can see him is Klinger. He's a soldier that dies, and the only one can see him is Klinger, and he doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know he's died yet, and so all these soldiers are walking, and it's not just the Chinese soldiers, the North Korean soldiers, South Korean soldiers, you know, the whole band that was there, and they're all walking together. And I said, that's just a great episode because you know, they're all going off to the same place. They just all died fighting for this piece of rock, you know.
Now, some of the other things about the afterlife, you know, is that I've heard about, you know, from near-death experience kind of, you know, things is that on the other side, you would be your ideal age, you know, whatever your kind of like, you know, peak physique or, you know, so if you peaked when you were in your 70s and that was like your best physical form, I suppose maybe that's like, you know, people like Benjamin Franklin, you know, you'd be like, oh, I recognize you. Like you wouldn't recognize Benjamin Franklin if he was in his 30s. You'd be like, dude, you got some ego.
I'm on the $100 bill.
Okay, Ben, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, Ben.
Yeah, go back to printing or whatever that's about. So.
You've heard the term Benny. That's me. Bifocal.
I mean, there's also, you know, reports of that you'd see someone basically kind of like someone either from your past that would already be on the other side that would meet with you, and they would kind of be your guide to kind of say like, all right, now that you're here, guess what? You know everything, you know, and they can explain.
So how long? So the person that's greeting you, are they just show up at that? Are they sitting around? Are they sitting around waiting for like, come on?
Yeah, like whew,
already.
You know, the thing about
this shows that
I think it's
Matthew McConaughey. Like, all right.
I personally wouldn't want any of that, what you guys are talking about, because you know, most people that I can't stand are the people that are saying, I'm going to go to heaven. It's like, I don't want to fucking see you ever again. So it's like, my idea of heaven is just like, you just leave me alone.
I don't think you have to worry about it, Nick.
Oh, it's true.
See, I always thought that it was,
you got Matt's elevator.
I always thought it was kind of like its own, like your own concept.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
Like that, it's your own kind of, you know,
Because it would be awful
fingerprint,
crowded, wouldn't it? Wouldn't heaven be awful crowded?
It would.
I mean, a lot of people have died over time, right?
Right. I think
So
that's why, like,
that's
this
why
idea
we
of
recycle.
this black hole that like absorbs life, but then spits it out into the universe again. Like, I don't know, like that, the idea of that being the center of the solar system. I don't know. It's just really fascinating to think about. So
Yeah, I go back and forth with it. I just I don't know. Like I said, we have ghosts traveling around here. I know they're here, but they don't. I just, hey, I'd like to have a conversation with you. What are the rules before I go?
well,
I'm one of those people. I like to just tell me the rules,
yeah.
and
I
I'll
think-
follow the rules.
I think one of the problems with the dead or those souls that are trapped on the other side, you know, are they an echo that's imprinted into the walls? Is it like, you know, into the rocks, into like whatever was there before? Is it just kind of like a record player like playing back this feed, you know? Some you know, speculate or believe that spirits that are coming back from the dead or to the other side, even if it's like some type of evil spirit, they need some type of energy to feed off of in order to, like, you know, be over here on our side, essentially. So, you know, a lot of like lower level entities will feed off of things like fear, you know. So when you're afraid, you know, and having a ghost experience or something like that, then it's like they're able to kind of like drink off of that energy and kind of be, you know, it's almost like a battery. It's like this extreme emotion that's putting out something, you know, and they're picking up on that, and they're like, oh, okay, I can vibe with this. I can hang out. But again,
What
it's
about another dimension? You just go to another.
yeah. I mean, I've often thought of it as a lens, and the fact that when we when you look outside, at the sky, right, low on the horizon is when things get distorted. So when you look at the sunrise or the moon setting, it's low on the horizon, and so it's optically appearing to be
It's already
bigger.
past. Well,
But it's optically appearing to be bigger at the edge of the lens. When it's at its zenith, when it's right above you at its peak, it actually optically appears smaller. So I think of this as like the other realm or whatever. Like maybe there's times in which things are a little bit more lower on the horizon. They're a little bit easier to pass through or see, as opposed to other times. Just like I said, if you look at a moonrise or a sunset, that it's always bigger, and there's a reason behind it. We just don't understand all of the science, but I think there are times in which, it's like the one experience that I talked about on the show a couple episodes back, maybe episode 98, my ghost experience or what have you. The one night that I was having this weird interaction with the kid's toy that kept saying red. Well, we were having like a huge lightning storm that came through that night. Like it was one of those storms where like there was electricity, or there was like lightning flashing like every like few seconds, you just like ba-bam, 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 and so there's flashing light, there's running light, there's booms everywhere. Is there enough energy for something to come over, so I mean, the traditions of Halloween go way back, way long time, because it's always thought to be this time of the year in which the veil between, the living and the dead is thinner, and so entities can slip through. And the idea of trick or treat is that you're leaving something out for the dead spirits so that they leave you alone. You're giving them the sugar or the sweet or the flash or whatever smelly feet, if you want to. I hear that they really are into that. So
It's a ghost of Rex Ryan. Look it up, guys. You'll have to. Miami Michael will remember that one.
Anyway, sorry to go on that tangent there, but
No, I brought it up because I like Kim's response there.
What's that? This one?
Yeah.
If it's going to be as judgy as the Catholic Church makes it, I'm going straight to hell.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, like Billy Joel got it right. I'd rather laugh with the sinners than
cry with the
saints. Because sinners have much more fun. Yeah, like I tend not to believe all that stuff just because it's like, I'm more of an energy person, kind of like what Matt's saying. It's like, like when you die, everything else gets recycled. So why wouldn't we? It's like, I've met too many people that have too many weird memories and instincts from the time they're born, of like, oh, like something is recycled,
Yeah.
And
I remember singing the song "Everybody Must Get Stoned" when I was a little kid. I mean, I didn't know what the song lyrics, what it was about. I just remember throwing rocks and being out in my driveway with like, thinking, everybody must get stoned, like you have stones, and not understanding it at all. And, not until later in life being like, oh, that's what that song is? Like, why was I singing that when I was a kid? Where did I pick up on this? I mean, trust me, my parents were not cool hippies. We were like, we had John Denver. We didn't have Bob Dylan.
Rocky Mountain High.
Like, that's like the hit off of Blonde on Blonde, but that's like my least favorite song off of Blonde on Blonde.
Right. The Visions of Johanna would probably be.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
So. And Sherry's starting to worry about Chris. He was
he's kidding. He's not coming back.
He was joking. He's definitely call tomorrow.
Sherry, I really do appreciate your concern there. That's hilarious to think that like I did want to at some point just jokingly be like, damn, Chris is taking a huge dump. Like that is a bomb that exploded. Up his backside.
He's having flashbacks with the bird, you know.
Sometimes you got those labor shits, and they can be tough. You know, you got to go and one more push will do it. I see it. I see the head.
The penguin.
I told you I got my she likes pretzels, and I take the stick pretzel like this, and I go and she goes so I got her doing that. We walk around going, and I even showed her the penguin from Batman. I go, this is the penguin. She's only what 2 and 2.5 yet, but I go I'm teaching her all the great things in life. But anyway, I just I forgot what we're talking about death, but
death, yeah, cheery subject, yeah.
Yeah, well, you got to talk about it once in a while. But anyway.
We've been watching a lot of different Halloween related things. You know, my wife is she is very excited for Christmas, and I think that she's not the only person that's just basically like, I need some joy in my fucking life, like, and Christmas is the one thing that's kind of on the horizon. And so she's like, been playing songs a little bit more. She's already put up like some garland, like some greenery. I see, Nick, I see what you're doing. You're shaking your face no.
Yeah.
I hear you, but
when I come home, even Halloween yet, man.
Yeah. But here's the thing. I come home, she's playing some Christmas song, but she made like this shepherd's pie for dinner tonight that was delicious. Uh-huh. And then she made a sugar cream pie that was amazing.
What's in a shepherd's pie?
You can't have 2 pies. You can't have 2 pies.
It's shepherd's pie usually like has meat in it, where it's like a meat, vegetables and potatoes with cheese on top. I guess it wasn't a shepherd's pie. She made a big giant pot pie because it had vegetables. But the sugar cream pie was amazing, and I'm just saying, like, you know what? I'll take the Christmas music if it means some good warm food.
And if she's happy, that's
yeah,
all. Right?
Totally.
It's just little things like today. I kept hearing a bunch of ruckus outside my house, and it's because like the little community I have here, like they're already putting the Christmas lights up on the street lamps. I'm like, it's not even Halloween yet, and you're putting the Christmas lights up. What the hell?
They should put the COVID lights up first, right?
There's COVID lights.
COVID balls.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. COVID balls.
Yeah, that's what should drop from Times Square.
Oh, yeah.
A giant
teabagging New York
and blowing it up like it explodes. So
1, 2,
and the older they get, the longer they get.
Yeah, they kind of swing back.
Yeah, one.
It is true. So what are you gonna do?
That's what Rodney Carrington had a bit about that, like old Southern comedian. It was about. He goes, one day I was sitting there hanging out with my dad. And he's wearing them shorts and his nuts were hanging out. And he didn't even notice. He's like, then the breeze, happened to come through and he felt them. He pushed one in and then it rolled out the other side. He goes, the thing is that's something you can forget. He's like, I could be over making loads with my wife and all of a sudden I just kind of go, ha, 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 ha. And she's like, what's wrong, honey? He's like, I saw my daddy's nuts.
And it was nasty.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. I got to find a COVID pig.
Yeah. COVID pig.
Because we don't have the Christmas pig anymore. He died.
Yeah, I remember. R.I.P.
I kept trying to fix it. Well, you sent me one.
I sent you a little ornament.
Yeah, we have it on our Christmas tree every year.
Yeah.
It's Matt, what's Matt's Christmas pig that he sent me. So.
I had found it somewhere, and then and this just is a testament of how long I've known Jack. It was like I found it at like on a Christmas sale, like after the year was over. I was like, I'll just pick that up for Jack, and so then it was like a whole other year later until I like finally like spray painted it, because it was like it came in this like just generic.
Oh, so you painted it pink?
I painted it, yeah, because I was like, no, it's got to be pink, it's got to be this color, and so I painted it.
I was so excited, and my wife goes, "What the hell is that?" And I go, "It's a new Christmas pig that we can put on our tree." Look, I have one ornament. We're putting it on the tree. We used to have some Charger ornaments that we no longer put on the tree. Our star,
oh, right, well, that makes sense.
Our star used to be a Charger star, and we I gave it to my sister, wanted it or something like that for one of her
Mazel
friends.
tov.
I said, "You can have it. I don't want it."
Now, do you people when you two
You
when
people.
you
Whoa.
people, what do you mean by
Whoa,
you
whoa.
people? Yeah, yeah.
Whoa, Nick.
So when you guys go over someone's house during Christmas time and you see their tree, do you judge their tree? Like, do you look at their ornaments and be like, "Oh, so that's how you decorate your tree?" Like, because like my mom had a very distinct way. Like it was like everything on our tree is something from our lives. Like it's like what you're saying, Jack. Like you're a Chargers fan, or we're a Chargers fan, and so like you have a Chargers, ornament, like, but it's like everything. Like so, like there are different things from our lives that are decorated with the tree. So that's every single thing, and it would always drive us nuts to go over someone's home, and it would just be this generic, like nothing but green and red balls and like the silver blaze, and you're like, what a boring fucking tree. Like it's
We had one of my aunts. She's kind of we just petrified her, and she's like holding.
nice, yeah.
It's kind of balancing out. But no, we have like whatever the kids made. They have their little artwork and stuff, the little stuff they here, mommy and dad. You go, cheap bastards. But you go like their noodle things or whatever they
Right. Yeah.
Popsicle stick things. We have those and stuff. But I remember as a kid growing up, there was a time where people stopped getting real trees.
Yeah.
You get that tinsel stuff. I don't know if I don't think they still make anymore.
No, the tinsel ones, no.
You'd throw you're throwing too much in one spot. I don't know. Just five. But you had to put like one string at a time, and like it was a pain in the ass. But then you got the fake trees, and none of them were green. They were aluminum, or they were pink and different colors. And then you had that big color wheel that had like red, yellow, green, and I think blue, and would spin around and light the tree. So you really couldn't judge any. And you always and you had all the little ornaments were all like the same color. People would either have blue or red.
Oh yeah.
And that was it. And you'd put the tree up, and you'd have that little stupid color wheel going all night long. And you couldn't really judge anybody else's. Because we all had the stupid fake tree. It's like Charlie Brown.
I think those were kind of like around at least when I was a kid, so I remember seeing them still, but they were definitely kind of on their way out. And of course, like it's not like I was going to a lot of Christmas parties when I was a kid. It was very.
I'm just saying, our neighbor. When we were kids, you played outside. You didn't stay in your house. But so you'd go into different houses and stuff like that.
Yes, Sherry. Update on Chris. He has fallen and he slipped on some shit, I guess, and
it's happened before.
I mean, he's not quite as old as Matt, but I mean,
he's getting there. Yeah. He's getting there. He is just in his early 40s. I was informed last week that I am in the middle 40s now, so I'm going to hang out here until I'm about 49. So. But
I swore as a kid because we went like a 10 years.
I swore when I was a kid too.
Yeah, but I know like when I tell you it's like 5 or 6, we'd go get the real tree. I'd go with my dad. We'd go out and get the tree. I'd help him. He'd yell at me because I'm not doing it right. I couldn't have 5 or 6, and he didn't yell at me. But anyway, but then we got fake trees. I said, I will never have a fucking fake tree ever. So for the longest time, we never had a fake tree. Now the kids have moved out, and it's such a mess. And you have to remember to water it. And the needles, 10 years later, you're still finding pine needles on your. It's like, what the hell? Where are they coming from?
Yeah,
I literally take because where we were at, I would open up the window, lower the tree, and shove it out the window, and then drag it into the little forest area we have behind us, and just let it sit out there and just. Well, it wasn't in my yard, but now I can't do that because they tore it all down. So, but no, we have fake trees now. So I just said screw it. But I think when the kids were growing up, they never had a fake tree. Always had a real one.
Yeah, my parents. I don't know what year they bought it, but they had a fake tree all my childhood. Thing weighed a freaking ton, and I remember like having to go down to our little storage shed to pick that damn thing up and bring it up to the house. And it was like. I'm getting a hernia. I probably have a hernia to this day from picking that thing up.
I have to because ours is up in our attic, and I can't get it up there by myself, but I can't get it down by myself. I have to get my son and one of my son-in-laws is here, you got to help me get this damn tree down. And it has to fit. It can only fit one way because for whatever reason, they don't make the attic door big enough. I always I go, why don't they just make it wider? Because half the stuff you're putting up there, you have to, it's a pain in the ass to get it through the goddamn it. Is there
what she said?
Exactly. What is the reasoning behind having such a small opening for the attic?
Less air loss.
Sometimes you just want to push it. You just want to go in. You just want to push it in, and sometimes you can't.
It does make it harder. So,
but seriously, why is it? Because ours is like, and they got the springs, and you literally have to put it like this. Someone has to be on the other side to grab it and pull it the other way. Yeah.
Beep beep.
Anyway, that's my only complaint.
Do you guys have any horror stories from Christmas?
Horror stories?
Like, yeah, like, do you have any memories of like, like you breaking a toy or like, you're having a happy moment and all of a sudden like mom drops the turkey and then your dad loses it because like, fuck, now I got to eat vegetables or something. Like it could be anything.
I had a Cox. They were called Cox airplanes. Cox. Not making
you had a cock for Christmas? Jeez, we're just now hearing about this. I am so sad Chris is not back from the bathroom for this. This is probably one of the best moments.
They had cars and stuff like that, and you had their own little gasoline and stuff like that. I told the story before. It was like a World War II plane, and it had this string, and it just went around in circles, but it had a motor. I mean, my dad goes, no, I need to show you how to do this before you hurt someone or you break it. First time he goes up and just slams it on the ground. I go. And he goes, that's what you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
It sounds like Randy had a gas-powered cock. So that's awesome.
Nice.
So hope you flew that one all over the place.
They had cars that you put fishing line on, and you put the fishing line on, and it would zoom along the thing. It was cool. It was good times. Good time. My dad put it back together, but it never flew right. It was like.
Yeah, I remember I got one of those electric boats, or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
I got one of those, and we took it out to the pond. The damn turtle got it. And then I did like 2 laps, and all of a sudden it just stops in the middle of the pond. You're like, why is it stopped? It's working. You can see that everything, and that's what it did. And then finally just went underneath the water. You're like, fuck.
Fucking turtle.
Damn
I do remember because our parents used to tell us, they would say, all right, once you're in bed, you have to stay in bed because if Santa Claus hears you, he'll skip your house. So I wonder, because we didn't have a fireplace, I go, how does he get into our house?
Yeah.
Because other people in the block had fireplaces. You really didn't need it in San Diego. But he goes, oh, he's magical. He can do it, all the thing. Mm-hmm. But I remember having to pee really bad. And so I'm walking. But I go by the door. They used to have the door shut that led from the hallway to the living room. And I hear this. It was probably just a present falling.
Yeah.
I go. So I went back and just sat there for 3 hours going, I gotta pee so bad. Because I was even afraid to look out on the roof to see if he was on the roof. I think it was like 5 or 6, whatever it was.
Right.
Like, oh my God, I gotta pee so bad. I was like, Chris.
Well, he had to go too.
Yeah.
The only thing I remember like being really upset about, because this is back before presents were like $500 each. I wanted one of those multi pins, like it was like a big thick pin. Yeah. And you had all the different inks, in it. And I got it. I was so happy I got one of these multi pins. But we had one of those furnaces that you shut the doors and all the heat blows out from it. But that's where all the presents are laid as well. So I don't know if it was my fault or my dad's fault or whatnot. But that was the one gift I really wanted, which that shows you like how simple things were. Like kids just wanted a pin. I wanted a pin for Christmas.
Would go red, blue, green.
Yeah, no, but it wasn't just the 4. It was like 10 different ones. It was like yellow ink, green ink.
That was a big one. It was
a big one, yeah. And so I got it, and Dad lit a fire, after at some point during Christmas, and then all of a sudden I look over at the fireplace, and the thing is just completely melted and like running down the fireplace. No. And I'm just like, oh my God, never got another one.
Just say Jerry in their bed. I did have one more question. My wife's been bugging me about
My
getting-
wife.
Man,
My wife,
it looks like a wizard sleeve. Yeah,
she's been bugging me about getting a dog.
a
Oh,
dog.
sure.
Because we had said, okay, once this cat's gone, we're
But-
done with animals.
I'm just saying,
I
Jack,
know
like,
I take care.
You know.
And so I do. I know the grandkids would like, because Jay's never going to get a dog.
Mhm.
Mhm.
My youngest daughter has a dog, but it's one of those huskies that just it's like fur everywhere. And my oldest daughter's never getting a dog, but they do like, we go on walks and they see the dog. So I'm kind of like, but I told her, I said, look, I go, here's the deal. I go, I don't want to have to take care of. I don't want it to be my dog that I have to
Yeah,
take care of.
which it
the
will
dog.
be.
I go, because every animal we get suddenly becomes mine. Anytime the
Mhm.
kid's got a dog, a cat, I go, why am I taking care of all these fucking animals? So, and I like dogs.
Those
I
are
like
your
animals.
grandkids, okay? Don't call them animals.
Well, let's be honest. But no, I said, okay, we'll think about it. Let's put it on hold until after the first of the year. I go, but
Are you thinking about any particular kind of dog, or are you just dog?
she wants a small dog. I said, the problem with a small dog, we have vultures and hawks around here. I go, because we had a Yorkie for the longest time, but we had a border collie and a cocker spaniel. At one time we had 3 dogs. So I knew they wouldn't come around with them out there. I go, the problem with that here, and it's not like San Diego where it never rains.
Mm.
Here it could rain for like 5 straight days. You got to take the damn dog out there. You gotta dry them off. They smell like crap afterwards, and then you got to give them a bath. It's just like, so I don't want a tiny dog, but I don't want
Right.
a big. I really like a German Shepherd.
Oh God,
Wow, that's a big
that's
dog.
a lot of hair.
Yeah,
But
it's
I've talked myself out of it because it's just too much of dog and too much food and too much. I don't want to bite one of the kids' faces off and stuff like that. So
It's like Randy says boxer, which I would highly not recommend because boxers
Fuck
have.
you, Randy.
Well, no, I mean,
Boxers
I like boxers. They're a good dog, but like, you know,
after a while
they
they
have-
get punchy.
well, they have a very short lifespan, and they're very prone to having tumors, and that's usually what ends up killing them. And then they also have these really
You want to say it so bad. I know you do.
the tumor. But they also have these wire hairs, and those damn things shed, and they're in all your clothes. And I had friends, 2 friends that had boxers. I still have fleece jackets. I'm still pulling hairs out of, and those dogs have been dead for over a decade.
So no, I'm gonna boxer off the list there.
Yeah,
Okay, next.
I'm anti-boxer.
I really have really enjoyed our dog that we basically adopted, and he's very smart. The only problem is he likes to like escape because he just wants to sniff. That's the biggest
Oh,
problem with him. But
maybe he's tired
he's
of
just-
posing for the art. Like,
Oh.
you know. Sorry.
he is like the perfect nap dog. So, and he's not too big. I do. We've had smaller dogs, and I prefer they're a little bit more manageable as far as like the amount of hair, bathing them, cutting them, grooming them. It's like, during times in which, because that's another thing that comes up is like grooming it. It's like either you take it to a place and you pay the $50, like get it cut, or you're doing it yourself. And sometimes you can do it yourself, but if it's a big dog, like forget about it. Or if it's a really small dog that's just like, no, wah. Like my mother-in-law has a dog that basically it takes 4 people or 5 people to hold it down in place in order to give it a haircut. And it is a nightmare. So, and I don't know, like dogs are, it's like, yeah, there are breeds and there are different like traits within those breeds, but then I don't know, like dogs have personality, it's like, it's a odd thing.
Yeah, I like them, but it's like, if I said, what happens if we want to travel somewhere? Because we've talked about getting an RV and traveling.
But I mean, that's when you put it on your kids, and you're like, okay, you guys are going to take care of it, and you pass the dog back and forth, and then it's a treat for the grandkids because they're like, yay, we've get the dog for a week, and then you're like, yeah, we're not coming back for another 2 months, and
Like
then
Chris.
they can pass the dog back and forth. They can figure it out.
I don't know. I keep going back and forth with it because I just
I hear you.
you know, I just know I'm gonna get stuck taking care of it.
Kim wants you to get a rescue dog.
Always a good idea.
And our dog was basically like someone had found it. It was lost. They had put it on, up for basically like, hey, this is a lost pet alert for like a whole month. If they basically was listed, nobody ever claimed the dog. Then they were in a situation where they were like, we don't really want to keep it, so we're just going to give it back to the shelter, or we're going to
Probably the rescue dog. You have to keep calling 911. They always need to be helped, right?
So Randy says he loves dogs, but never home and travel too much. So,
and then you have where eventually you have to make the decision to put them to sleep.
That is so hard. Like right now, we have an older dog.
My age, the dog would probably put me to sleep. Right?
Well, so our oldest dog, Mike, who is a sweetheart and just still alive. Like they gave us a diagnosis like 6 years ago. Like, oh, this is probably it. It's quality of life at this point. Like we don't know how long he's going to last, and he just keeps hanging in there. But he's got this cough, and then with COVID going around, I'm just like, I don't know how long this dog's got. 16 is old for a small dog.
Heck yeah.
And his legs are getting real wobbly, and so we're having to carry him, and it's like, and then you get the bowel movements where they're just like, that's it. Like, and so it's definitely something that's kind of, I know in the back of my wife and our mind about Mike is that it's coming.
I know this might sound bad because our dogs, I go, God, please just die before I have to take you to go. Because I don't want to do it. I don't have to make that tough decision.
Yeah.
We had a border collie. I've talked about this before. We were in San Diego because my mother-in-law was dying. So my kids were coming over and just letting him, we had 2 dogs at the time, Yorkie, and they were coming over, walking him and doing all this different stuff, feeding him. And she kept saying, Khalil, that was the border collie, is not eating. And I go, no, she's probably she does that from time to time because we're not there. Well, there was something wrong with her. We didn't know it. Came back. We were back one day and she died. So I'm like going, are you kidding me? So, yeah. And then the Yorkie lived about another year and a half and he finally died. We were going to take him the next day and he died before we had to take him.
I've been lucky, like in my life, that I think all of the dogs, because we've always had outside dogs. We've never had an indoor dog. And most of them die like they know when it's their time. And we had a couple die just from random things like, licking antifreeze or something that they shouldn't do. But most of them, like that lived to be 12 or older, like they just like one day just walked off and never came back, or like Dad found them later, like somewhere else on the property, like they went and laid down and just was like, it's my time, and it's like, oh, but they were fine.
Sure,
one day.
They did. Sure,
they did. Yeah,
yeah.
They did.
So your dad's a sweet man.
They're running on Golden Bridge or whatever. What is it?
Yeah, he just walked off. He said, "See you later, Dad." And he
don't shit on my beliefs, Matt.
He left you this note, Nick. It says, "Bark, bark, bark."
Translation: my time was not.
The last 2 that we had were brothers, and they both lived to be 14, and like one walked off, and then the other one died like 2 weeks later because they'd known each other for so long.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Randy. Sorry.
What did Randy say? Oh, Yeller just walked off. Yeah, Rainbow Bridge. They know when it's their time to go. Tell me about the rabbits again. Oh my God, that's a callback. The rabbits.
Well, I was thinking of Mice and Men.
Okay. I'm thinking of Tim. Tim had a fucked up story about rabbits.
Oh no, I'm totally going Lenny and
Lenny the rabbit. Yeah.
Tim had a lot of fucked up stories.
He did have a lot of fucked up stories. Yeah.
Wow.
The rabbit. Yeah, I will love him and squeeze him and call him George.
Yeah, I had to put like three cats down like pretty like we lost Chloe, which I had her since like 2000, and that was a hard moment, and it was also one of those moments that my daughter knew as soon as Chloe was gone, she was getting a cat, so she's like,
Oh.
like yes, and I was just like,
Chloe's gone.
yeah, and I was just like, I can't right now. Like, I know you're excited, but like, I am just heartbroken. And then we had this stray that we were adopting as an outside cat. It was just like, it just kind of appeared and it was around and it was sweet. So we took it to at least get shots and it checked, and we'll just adopt it as our outside cat. Nope. It had feline leukemia, and they were like, it's best, And I was like, okay, like it went from like, my heart went from like, we're adopting a cat, kids, to like, we're saying goodbye now. And
it sucks because I had to put our cat, was my cat actually. When I had shoulder surgery, it never left my side. It was, and after that, it just was falling. Well, we had a lot of cats at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was stressing, and there was nothing that could be. They said, yeah, you could spend the money. It's going to cost about $2,000, but in a week.
That's such a sad story to laugh at, Jack. What are you laughing at?
I'm just laughing at the sad story.
Yeah,
but I stayed in there. I stayed with them as they put him to sleep, and I'm just bawling like a baby. Because I know with our dog, our Cocker Spaniel, we had to put him to sleep, and this dog didn't like. He was a purebred. He was stuck up. He was conceited. He was an arrogant dog. He's like 15. He never liked going on walks. And so I worked that morning, came back, and I had to drive him. My wife and I had to drive him, and I'm crying all the way there. And I go to put the leash on him. He's wagging his tail. I go, "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Why are you doing this? You never wag your tail." Yeah. And he was falling. This dog would never pee in the house. Never. Ever. And we figured out he was thinking he was outside because he was a little senile. And anyway, on a brighter note.
Yeah, well, hey, I mean, animals.
He did like his pancakes. I would make him when I made pancakes on Sunday, he got his pancakes too. No fucking waffles, pancakes. He used to jump on the kitchen. Sometimes you forget you're setting up the dinner and stuff like that. And if you didn't push the chairs all the way and you turn around, he's up there eating the fucking food. You're like, God damn it.
Be a dead dog.
Sorry, kids, we're going to order pizza. Taco night is canceled.
one of the cats that we had, Olive, who I also had put to sleep like in the last 3 years. She was an adopted street cat basically, and she was like basically a runt that someone had found, gave it to a vet, and we basically had just happened to go to this vet and say, "Hey, do you have any cats?" They were like, we do. So we were like, sure, we'll take her. And but because of that, and she was just a kitten still. It's Thanksgiving. Denise doesn't eat meat. She's always been a vegetarian. I was eating meat at the time, and so she made it. So she made a turkey, so the turkey was out, and Olive snuck up on the table, grabbed a leg. Now the turkey leg had to have been the same size as Olive at the time.
This is the cat,
and dragged the food like under the bed because she was used to that street life living. Like you grabbed something, you took it back to your hidey hole, and you ate your food. So it was just hilarious to see this little kitten dragging a turkey leg. So, but no, I mean, pets are great, and they do provide a lot of, love and affection, and even just our dog Baxter. I mean, he knows like if we're watching a show or a movie, and I'm laying on the couch in a certain way, he's just like, "All right, it's nap time. I'm gonna lay next to the big guy." I don't know what he thinks. Maybe he calls me Alpha in his mind, but he's just always so excited. Like, "All right, it's nap time. Like this is what's going down. I know the routine." So he's such a good dog. He's the only dog I've ever had where you throw the ball, he fetches it, brings it back, You throw the ball again, fetches it, brings it back.
Mhm.
Mike, you loving this?
I
This
had
is
a
the
lab.
Pan Am.
Yeah. I had a lab that way. That dog lived forever, but he loved to fetch, and he would fetch until he died. I remember like my dad having to tell me like you need to stop throwing it because he would just keep going. Like he would go. I mean, just like you could just say like you throw it, he would walk out there, grab it, and then just like Eeyore, like okay, I'm coming back, and then drop it at your feet and look up at you like
Wow.
you gonna throw it again? You gonna throw it again? It's like no. Like, I don't need to throw this again. You're going to collapse, but he just liked doing it. He was a good dog, though. That's probably my favorite dog I've ever had, actually. But, long time ago.
So on a happier note.
Yeah, for real.
I did tell my oldest daughter when she dropped her daughter off, I said, your mom's talking about she wants to get a dog. She's trying to talk me into getting a dog. She goes, what kind of dog are you going to get? I go, wait a minute. I haven't decided. She goes, yeah, whatever. Because once my wife has her mind made up that she wants something, I go, yeah, you're going to take care of the dog. She goes, I just like, I want something that's, I go, anyway, we'll see what happens.
Get you a bloodhound. Just every now and then just go,
oh man. When we moved in to our house that we're living in now, the neighbors had a basset hound. No, actually, I think they had two. No, they had two hound dogs.
The dead neighbors.
Yeah, the dead neighbors.
So
that's what it's howling for its former masters.
So brief recap for those tuning in for the Halloween themed episode is that is that when we first moved in, that house was basically a rental. It was divided up. And so probably the most stable family that was there was on the very far side away from us. And they had like 7 dogs, and like they had just 2 hound dogs.
They ain't nothing but a hound dog?
Yeah, because they would always, but they would howl, and maybe they had more than that. They had dogs because it was weird because then the next people that owned it, they actually like bought it, ripped out all of the walls, and that was the family that had the experience because it was like they were awakening the house or something. Like it was almost like while work was being done. And that was the family that discovered the tombstones in the backyard that had been cut off. Like you had to dig, but they were there. They'd been cut off clearly to like sell the property, without having to actually say like, hey, there's actually like,
that's illegal.
It is totally illegal. And so then you have we'll call them homeowner 0, where the ghost event occurs. Okay. They live there for a while. I don't know, like maybe 2 years, but can't really do anything to move the ball forward on this house. And it just they just bounce. Basically, like I think they just were like, we're never going to pay off this mortgage, so
right,
see ya.
So they bounced,
right? And so then it was vacant for like a whole year, which was cool until the fire alarm started going off. Which case the beeping, and so then I broke in and took care of the fire alarms. Then the house sold to someone who basically like just probably bought out whatever the mortgage was on it and said, okay, we're gonna, and he was somebody who renovated homes and brought them back to historic levels or what have you. He's the one that actually also poured
they did a nice job.
Yeah, and he's the one that poured the cement slab over where the bodies and took out the mulberry tree and all of that stuff.
Did he know the bodies were there?
I would say that he did know because like he was on that property. Like at some point you had to have like, maybe he didn't, and we'll just say that for the benefit of the doubt of saying that. But that all of that stuff was covered over by dirt. And I would say the last weirdest thing that had happened was the whole thing when they took out the mulberry tree in the backyard there, because they brought out this basically tree trimmer kind of, cherry picking arm kind of service vehicle to like chop it down. And it has a large, one of those like large truck size, 2 of them batteries, truck batteries, and they were dead. It was drained of some type of, and they had to get somebody out to actually jumpstart that vehicle just so that they could get the power back.
Something didn't want that tree to be taken out.
Exactly. And that tree is basically where those like kind of overhung where, that was basically where the family was buried at, the plot in the back.
If again, the Netflix special that you won't back us on.
I don't. Well, okay, so I don't really want the homeowners that have it now to be like, oh, actually this comes full circle. So I'm driving down the road the other day, and I've seen a meme of this, but I'm driving past this house that has a for sale sign. It's like Century 21 or whatever. And the little slat above it, where it usually says like pool or enclosed ground, extra space or bonus room or whatever, it says not haunted. Now, if it wasn't Halloween time, I would probably be a little bit more like, what? But I think that it was Halloween themed, but who knows? It's just hilarious when you see that not haunted sign on a for sale sign, because your immediately thought is like, oh, that place is definitely fucking haunted. Like there are ghosts in there for sure. Like, and if there isn't now, the energy that you're bringing to that place is basically like, maybe this place is haunted. So like, are you opening up, like the possibilities? So
it reminds me of kind of going back to what you're saying with like tell me about the rabbits. Like one of my favorite John Steinbeck books is called To a God Unknown, which is one of his very first books. And what you're talking about with the tree is that he moves from like the Midwest to California. This farmer does, and his father passes away while he's first arrives in California, and he believes that his father has his spirit is in this tree that he built his house next to, and so he goes out and like waters the tree and talks to the tree and all this, like like he believes that, and then like he has 2 brothers that eventually move out with him. And not to, because you really should read this book. It's a nice book. But this just say things happen, and the brothers are very different, like all brothers are, and it's an interesting story. It's definitely an underrated John Steinbeck book, because, there's so many others that get the credit, like Mice and Men and Grapes of Wrath and Travels with Charlie. But I like To a God Unknown a lot. But that's the tree reminded me of that story.
That is interesting. I know that he got his start writing for the.
The hell is that?
Oh, sorry, that's probably my heater.
Oh, is it your heater?
Yeah. That he would write about things that were happening kind of in his area, so that people would be like, oh, like that's so and so. So it makes you kind of wonder, like, is he borrowing from like stories that he heard, or
it's
like,
very true. Yeah, because most of them are all right there in that Central Valley, around Monterey, and most of the stories are. So it's
when we went to Monterey Bay, like it's cool because they have like some Steinbeck things up around that.
Yeah, you have Cannery Row right there. Right. And then the Steinbeck Museum is over in his hometown. I'm forgetting the name of it right now, but it's over there where Tim used to live. But it's the only thing in that town worth going to visit is the Steinbeck Museum. But
not Tim.
I really do hope that Chris comes back so we can end this show. I was waiting for him to, we're at almost at 2 hours.
Thank you, Randy. Salinas, yeah.
Celine, that's a song, isn't it? You know what song I'm talking about?
No, because I'm trying to close out the show.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Usually, you don't have Chris here to interrupt you.
It's Sausalita. Is what I'm sorry.
Sausalita.
Sausalita.
Well, if you do like Selena, and who doesn't? I would just say that as I close out the show here at the 2 hour mark, we won't be back next week, so we'll be on a bit of a hiatus. But you can always catch Nick and I, Nick and the other Nick, and Jack, who doesn't want to ever appear on another Owen and Brews again.
I didn't say. I just can't do. Mondays are just like.
No,
Especially because I'm podcasting like every night this week. So
hey, you do you, man. And
if I can be there on a Monday, I'll be there on a Monday. But
all right, well, the invitation is on the table.
Hey, Mommy Mike. Actually, it's okay because it makes the Chargers even less relevant in Los Angeles. Who cares? The team that spends the most money wins the World Series. Big fucking deal.
All right. So, join Nick and I over at Owen and Brews Barbecue, where we will be talking about The Mandalorian. If you didn't know, it's airing this Friday, 30th. Happens to be my anniversary. Perfect way to celebrate with my wife. Great.
Didn't you just have an anniversary?
Hey, baby, why don't you go in the bedroom for me?
I had a birthday, but my
birthday. That's what it was. Yeah.
Birthday's at the beginning of the month. Anniversary's at the end. Okay. Anyway, you don't ever have to buy through our Amazon affiliate link because double fingers in the air to those people.
We're no longer Amazon affiliate anymore. So don't go on the site. I think you still use it, but.
We don't get any money back from that. There's a cease and desist order apparently.
Most of Chris is doing.
We won't go into all of the details, but let's just say
bidets were involved.
No love lost. In fact, now, if more than anything, I would say go out, find another small business that sells on the internet, because a lot of times the small businesses that put things on Amazon, it's actually cheaper if you go through them. So,
JackJack.com/Circuit City.
Yes.
But no, there are other ways that you can help out the show. You can always send us an email somewhere. You can send us that email. Forget where.
That would be rcadcast@gmail.com.
That's right. That's what it was. And you can become a patron to, donate some money if you would like. That always helps. Go over to jayandjack.com. There is a link to the patron.
It's a tax write-off.
It totally is. It's a tax write-off. And what a better way to say thank you than helping out the Jay and Jack Network with all of our great shows that we do. We're doing a lot of podcasts right now. Or at least we're kind of more into our heavier podcast season. So
we have the broadcast, we have this thing, we have Owen and Brews Barbecue, and The Amazing Race.
Yes, and some bonus material coming for those that are patron members. So if you like the West Wing, there is a West Wing podcast.
Yes, we recorded that last night.
So
it was just mainly about the special, though.
Okay.
I brought some up because I thought it was supposed to be about everything. So I said, I wrote these notes.
You're like, I've been waiting so long.
Yeah. Well, I had to talk about how a spoiler, I don't like certain character Mandy. And I was so happy.
Mandy.
When they got rid of her, it was like a dream come true.
Well,
Unlike
you know who else is a dream come true? The patrons that make this show possible. I'd like to thank them now with all of their fun names. They're airline themed. I don't know. I just bear with me on this one. So first we have Take Me to the Moon. Oh, so Tack Me to the Moon. Sorry, I already Tack Me to the Moon.
Let me play.
South Eckhart Airlines. They have no rectors. Huh? Ed, the airmail carrier.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, got that one.
Yeah, probably not.
I think it's the mail plane.
You can tell.
Did you see its little balls?
They're like, hey, we're gonna crash if you don't contain those things.
Well, you're gonna love Maverick Maggie from Top Gun.
Oh, Maverick! I like that.
Yeah. So not
Is
really
there-
related to
is
any
there-
airline carrier, but
Is there an ice man?
no, but you don't call me Greg the Goose, man.
Oh,
Why give him Goose, man? Goose dies.
Don't-
I guess that sums up our episode. We talked about that. The
it
Dodgers
is-
World Series.
Let me tell you, I always go for alliteration, and so I'm always trying to like find things that are G related for Greg, and
Why,
it is
why couldn't he been the guy? Who's the guy that it gives Maverick his because he freaks out. I had a family. I'm almost.
I was trying to think of airlines related to
Just
Greg,
me.
and
Viper, Jester, Merlin. Who are you talking about?
No, the guy that turned in his wings and
Oh.
all right, you know what I'm going to do. I am going to end this though with
well, now people
the theme of the show, which is Joanne Am Airlines. That's right. See, Joanne Am Pan Am. Okay, all right, fine. And just like that, Randy says,
why did you pick that one for the inn? That was like,
well, because I just jumped the whole Maverick Goose thing.
oh, okay, all right. I'm not questioning you, but
All right, well, maybe it was not my best ever. But
no, you had a couple good ones.
yeah, that's all. That's all.
Cougar.
At least Chris wasn't
Cougar,
here.
that's what it is.
But that's what happens when you get bird shit.
Thank you. You looked it up.
I looked it up. Cougar, Wolfman, Slider. You stink.
Mike, I do like Eastern Airlines at the moment.
Cider. You stink.
That's why I was thinking of South Eckhart, like Southeastern. So
Are you still talking? Is this still
I'm still working on that.
This is like the one time where Jack and I are giving a free pass to end the show, and you keep going.
So I think it's not our fault.
It's not our fault this time.
It's
All
your-
right. You know what, guys? This was a great country. It was 1 in a million. Hopefully, we don't fuck it up. So, see you next week.
Too late for that. Just have fun on